Hello, Swivelheads. It's Greg Allison coming to you here late live with Swivelhead News. Guys, a lot's happening. It's happening all over, here at home and abroad. As a matter of fact, Texas, as you know, was declared by the Supreme Court that they would have to give up their concertina wire, their razor wire. The Supreme Court ruled the feds could cut it. But guess what? Texas is saying no. In fact, they're putting up more concertina razor wire. So this is getting to be a real showdown. What's going to come out? What's going to happen with all this? Well, there's a lot of allegations and things being said back and forth. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the stuff going on in Ukraine, in the Mideast, and with Iran, with North Korea, and more. So just buckle up, guys. And here it comes in a minute. I am going to refresh my screen so I can see who's in the chat room tonight. Give me a second here to get everything up. That's not where I want to be. It's on the wrong place. Hang on. Pardon me, people that are watching later, but live chat's a good part of what we're doing here. Okay, guys. So let's give them share the news here. And we're going to go into it right here. Bing. There we are, guys. Standoff on the Rio Grande. That's kind of like a showdown at the Elizabeth Pass. It sounds like something out of an old Western. And in a way, it is a new Western between forces that want to dominate and forces that want their independence, it seems. All right. So hello to everybody in the chat room. And let's get with it. And I will engage in chat once we get through the major news here. So, the Texas National Guard, according to this, faces off against the federal government. Yes. Now imagine how that's going to turn out. Tense standoff between the Texas National Guard troops and the federal government escalated. And it said the state's military would hold a line in the battle for control of that stretch of the border with Mexico along the Rio Grande at Elizabeth Pass and Shelby Park. That's where this is going on. So, as you know, like I said, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Customs and Border Patrol, the Biden administration, that they could cut the wire. But that's not going to be happening immediately, it doesn't look like, not without some consternation. So let's see. Texas National Guard put out a statement. It says the Texas Military Department continues to hold the line in the Shelby Park to deter and prevent unlawful entry into the state of Texas. We remain resolute in our actions to secure our border, preserve the rule of law, and protect the sovereignty of our state. Wow, guys, that's amazing. Mag Rising, we'll salute Mag Rising. Thank you for that super chat. You're awesome. All right, guys. So, hey, cowgirl. There we go, guys. This is what's cooking here. So let's go through some of these articles. I'm not going to dwell on any one all that long. We'll try to get through this as fast as we can. Texas refuses to vacate and puts up more wire in defiance of the SCOTUS. That's the Supreme Court of the United States, and there they are mounting that wire, my friends. So, of course, you know, it's a 5-4 decision. So, and then it comes out the Texas Department of Public Safety. Chris Alvarez, he tweeted in this statement Monday, the state of Texas under Governor at Greg Abbott, Texas' Lone Star, will maintain its current posture in deterring illegal border crossings by utilizing effective border security measures, reinforced concertina wire and anti-climb barriers along the Rio Grande. So this is coming from the Department of Safety, which is, Fed said it's not safe. Well, that's been one of their reasons that they've been trying to get it cut. Although it was safe for them to put concertina wire within the United States at the Capitol when they were afraid of people being at the Capitol building, after a certain date in January a few years ago. I got to be careful what I say, but you know what I'm talking about. So he went on to say, and it's fair to read quotes out because quotes are just that. They're verbatim. So it should be fair game to read any quote. And that's what I'm doing here. The logical concern should be why the federal government continues to hinder Texas' ability to protect its border, all while allowing the exploitation and dangerous and inhumane methods for permitting illegal immigrants, including children, to illegally cross a dangerous river where many have lost their lives. Texas is the only state using every strategy and resource to protect its sovereignty, combat criminal activity, and discourage illegal immigration. Texas will continue to hold the line. There you go. That's why my title, Texas Holds the Line. Too bad Arizona's got a governor that won't stand with Texas on this at the moment. You know, maybe Lake will come back next time around. So there we go, guys. Already read that other quote there. So this is what's cooking, guys. This is getting tense. Lots of articles on it. Hope this thing will show up. Ding, 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 ding. And this says, escalates border war with Biden, Texas, according to this article here. Greg Abbott is using a Texan. Now, this is from Rep. Castro, who comes from the other side of the aisle, apparently. He says, Governor Greg Abbott is using the Texas National Guard to obstruct and create chaos at the borders. That's what this is from Representative Joaquin Castro. Now, he's a Democrat from Texas. As you might imagine, a Democrat would take a counter position. But Democrats don't rule the day in Texas as of so far. Texas so far is still a red state. But, you know, you do get some Democratic representatives even out of red states and Republicans out of blue states. So that happens. And the opinions are bound to differ. But anyway, so the new ruling has been criticized by Texas lawmakers like GOP Senator Ted Cruz. He called it disgraceful. And he says a manifestation of Biden's administration's actively fighting against the state of Texas to try to prevent Texas from securing our border. That's what Senator Ted Cruz had to say about it. But this one guy here, this Representative Castro, Joaquin, I don't know, I'm probably not saying that right. It's Joaquin, actually. Yeah, Joaquin Castro. I have to think about it a minute. He says, Governor Greg Abbott is using the Texas National Guard to start and create chaos at the border. That's what I read. Then he goes on to say, if Abbott is defiant, yesterday's Supreme Court ruling POTUS needs to establish sole federal control of the Texas National Guard now. So what they're trying to do is get the federal government to get Biden to activate and federalize the Texas National Guard. I don't think the Texas National Guard wants to go along with that. That could be the real showdown if they try to do that. What's going to happen? What will happen? There's your big question. If the federal government tries to federalize the Texas National Guard, they've already said that they're going to stand and hold the line. So this could be a real showdown, guys. This could be pretty interesting really fast. And this is a microcosm of the division across the country right now. And here in Zero Hedge, they're saying Biden is staging a civil war by taking down Texas border barriers. Well, not taking them down yet, but that may be, that's one guy's take on it here. This is authored by Steve Watson. Now, everything in Zero Hedge, is by Tyler Durden, but it does have other authors behind it, as you see. All right, good morning. You don't know me, Mom? All right, so I'm going to kind of come back to the chat later. So we're going to come through here and just kind of go through the news first. So there's a lot of things out here on Twitter. I'll show you some directly from Twitter other than what's in here. I don't know if that'll show in here like that. Yeah, that will go to Twitter. All right, that is a hyperlink. Let's see what it shows us. Got some Twitter pages open. So this is Representative Clay Higgins. He says, he asked what people thought about that. He says, my thoughts are the feds are staging a civil war and Texas should stand their ground. There you go. So you can see what's coming out there. Guys, if this didn't get your attention, you need to consider prepping, because we're going to have a lot of consternation inside America, along with all the consternation outside America. All the pressure for war, civil strife. Yeah, the Border Patrol should refuse me. Yeah, they shouldn't even be following the Fed. I agree there, New Day. So, guys, you can go to prepwithgreg.com. At prepwithgreg.com right now, there's a $200 off a 3-month supply of emergency food. Guys, that's over 2,000 calories a day, 22 varieties, 25 years shelf life. Comes in these big, heavy-duty, rugged buckets. There's 6 of them, and you get all these little sealed pouches in it. Guys, you can bug out with this stuff. You can bury it in a cache in case the feds want to come knocking on your door and pulling out your food and go through your pantries, according to the National Defense Authorization Act. Well, if they can't find it, I don't got nothing. You got to bury it out back somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, keep your family secure. This is a good way to do it. And guys, it's not, it only comes out about $200 a month. That's not too shabby, really, for what you're getting. All righty, guys, let's go on. Yeah, you can click that button. Yeah, it's prepwithgreg.com. Click the store button, and it takes you on a lot of other supplies like water and air filtration and other food options and many other things. So anyway, Chip Roy, Texas should ignore Supreme Court's border razor wire ruling. And he's a Republican from Texas. And he said so he called on Texas officials to ignore the recent order, and that's exactly what they're doing so far. And then he said further, they have a duty under the Constitution and every other norm of leadership of any sovereign state to protect your citizens, period. Not a good grammatical sentence there, but anyway, full stop. There are no exceptions to that. That's what he told Fox News Tuesday. This is reported in The Hill. This is the paper that you'll find throughout the Capitol Hill and all the cafeterias and everywhere. This as an actual paper, at least you used to find as a newspaper, but always be all over the cafeterias and lunchrooms inside the congressman's office. So The Hill is an inside Beltway Capitol Hill publication. So it's kind of interesting. They're publishing this. You see everybody in Congress and all their aides are seeing these articles like this. And with what's going on, they're really reading this stuff too. So what they think about it is a whole nother question. It probably depends what side of the aisle they're on. But this is out there. Follows Vietnam era. Yep. All right. So, guys, this is getting serious. The conflict escalated earlier this month on the Texas National Guard and Public Safety. Yeah, they erected those fences. Roy went on to went further to say the court decision was unconscionable. Unconscionable. So, and he said that, I said if I find the quote in here. He said that the Department of Homeland Security was basically any other entity facilitating this brazen violation of security and welfare of the Texans. Again, he was saying that that should be opposed. He said, it's like if anyone's breaking into your house and the court says, oh, sorry, you can't defend yourself. What are you going to tell the court? Or like, sorry, how about you don't put any locks on your doors or you got to have your door wide open in your house. That's really what it comes down to. It's like the Supreme Court says, maybe it says you can't even have a door on your house. That's more like what they're talking about. It's got to be wide open. So anybody can come in your house whenever they want. Go in your refrigerator, crawl in your bed. That's about what it boils down to. Then he says, you can tell the court to go to, you defend yourself and figure it out later. Wow. This is, you see this is high pitched. Now people are really getting up on their hackles, you might say, in the old term. But guys, what I've been telling you, what comes across that border? All kind of mayhem, human trafficking, unvetted people with diseases. I just saw a video today where some some guy went up with a camera to the border, and he went up to the end of the border fence, and there was a big SUV on the Mexican side just racing up the edge of the border fence. He passed the Customs and Border Patrol guys just sitting there doing nothing, and truck after truck arrived, and a whole bunch of people got out, and there was like 5 military-age young men in every group to every one woman. And the woman was also military age and good shape, so she might have been military herself. So, you know, or maybe they were token. I don't know what the case was, but they just a whole slew of them came through. There was no kids at all in any of that. So what's coming across our border, guys? What is coming across our border? We know a lot of the gangs are coming across. I'm hearing that now, I talked about Venezuelans in general in a previous video, I think on Green Grades. It talked about how the people from Venezuela that were going into other countries were voting conservative and against communism and socialism, but there's still the fact that the prison doors got open, and some of the people coming across are not exactly savory, including gang members. And I've seen postings where they're like they're targeting people here in the United States and ones that's come over. So I don't know, guys. It's getting scary. But this whole thing of fentanyl. Last year, we lost 107,000 Americans to fentanyl that come across that border. And now they're saying, like in New York City, they got record-breaking fentanyl quantities coming in, more than ever before. What's the total going to be this year? You know, you talk about, why don't we, all we got to do is shut the border down to stop all this mess. And it's worse. I'll show you, there's costs associated with this, guys. But, you know, just to give you an idea of what's out here on X, where people are more free to talk about whatever they want to. These pieces, a lie, reasons U.S. It's got a border invasion here. Yeah, they're according to these posts here on X. Yeah, Texas leaders continue to fight Joe Biden's unlawful invasion at the southern border. And here's a bunch. This is not the video I saw, but yeah, this is mostly young men there. That's not the video I saw earlier, but holy smoke, just a crowd of them coming. That's what's coming across continuously, guys. I don't see any families in that group. Do you see families there? Where's the families? Where's the kids? I don't see a single woman in that group. Maybe. Hard to see. Wow. New Mexico doesn't care. Well, Mexico's got a liberal government. Arizona might care if it didn't. There's questions about how all that turned out. Why Hobbs is there instead of Lake. That's a story that probably isn't permitted to be told here. Anyway, we're about tuberculosis crossing over. Yes, Sasquatch Moon, because they're not vetting the disease state of these people. Just anybody that wants in. Not only are they letting anybody in, they're trying to jerk them across. It's like the administration wants more. Like you can't bring enough of them. Now, this is from Greg Abbott. This is Governor Abbott's on page here. He says the Texas National Guard continues to hold the line at the Eagle Pass. That is a common denominator of what they're saying. Hold the line. He says Texas will not back down from our efforts to secure the border in Biden's absence. Now, see, these are huge statements coming out, huge statements against the Supreme Court. Well, it wouldn't be once upon a time, President Andrew Jackson did something that I think was unsavory. But when the court ruled in favor of the Cherokee Indians and said that Jackson couldn't evict them, he says, well, the Supreme Court don't have an army. He did what he wanted to. So what can the Supreme Court do ultimately? Their ruling might enable the administration, who has lots of federal forces, to take some kind of action. Will they? What will they do? How will that go up against the Texas National Guard or other Texans? What happens if they try to federalize the Texas National Guard? Will they go along with it? I'm right now thinking not. So this is going to be a showdown at the, not the OK Corral in this case, but a showdown at the Elizabeth Pass, it looks like, and Shelby Park. Now, here we go. Get this. The Biden administration, can't even talk, spent a whopping $20 billion on refugee resettlement in just 2 years. $20 billion. You know, the whole budget for NASA is only last year was about $25 billion for reference. So you're talking about space program type spending here just to resettle. This doesn't account for them getting food stamps, coming over for already of retirement age, or probably getting Social Security. There's other NGOs and other outfits that are also providing these guys tons of money. So there's a lot of money going into this. Wouldn't it be cheaper to build a border fence and secure the border? What about all the medical expenses of the people that's getting sick for the disease coming across? What about all the people passing away from fentanyl? Isn't it cheaper just to seal the border? Why can't we seal the border? Because they don't want to seal the border. They want it wide open. Because we're getting a huge demographic change. Where's the tech? Yeah, Matt, we may find out. Yeah, the Guard is the legal state militia, but it's legal to have others too. They want to change that if they can. So, yikes, guys. This is serious. This is the security of our nation right here at home. You know, national security starts at the border. And the first primary role of the federal government is to secure the nation. They won't do it. We go off and fight everybody else's wars. We spend our money all over the world, and we don't take care of our own right here at home. There's words for that. Words I can't even say on this platform. Holy guacamole, smoke-a-mole, guys. Yeah, they want it. Absolutely, Billy. They want it. They want it. That's what's happening here. Man. All right. But Republicans are actually after the DHS Secretary, the Department of Homeland Security, Mayorkas, for his role in housing the immigrants on federal lands. You know, they're trying to impeach Mayorkas, which he needs it, in my humble opinion, because he couldn't even answer Jim Jordan when Congressman Jim Jordan was quizzing him about what happened to those guys who were on the T watch list that got released. Mayorkas couldn't answer them. Like they released people on the T, supposedly, allegedly, released people who's on the T watch list right here in the United States. Mayorkas couldn't answer the question. Tried to plead ignorant. And that really incensed Jim Jordan. Yeah, I don't think Jim Jordan would have made a good Speaker of the House. Too bad he's not there. But it's met a lot of money is supporting them. Why can't we just secure the border? Anyway, back to other news. Let's look at what's going on around the rest of the world. U.S. stages retaliatory airstrikes against the Iranian-backed militias in Iraq because of their strike on the Alice, that air base there in Iraq, which injured a number of Americans, quite a few. That last one caused a lot of injuries. So according to this article, they struck the Al-Assad air base. It's kind of funny that the air base has got the same name as the president of Syria. That's really kind of, that strikes me odd, Al-Assad. But anyway, what they claimed was today at President Biden's direction, U.S. military forces conducted the necessary proportionate strikes on 3 facilities used by the Iranian-backed Kataib Hezbollah militia groups and other Iranian affiliated groups in Iraq. These precision strikes are in direct response to the series of escalatory attacks against the U.S. and coalition personnel in Iraq and Syria by Iranian-sponsored militias. This is straight from Mr. Milk Dud, General Milk Dud Lloyd Austin. He's the Secretary of Defense. So he says, the president and I will not hesitate to take the necessary action to defend them and our interest. We will not seek to escalate the conflict in the region. We are fully prepared to take further measures to protect our people and our facilities. We call on these groups and the Iranian sponsors to immediately cease these attacks. Well, he finally crawled out from under his hospital bed and made a statement. Yeah. Anyway, guys, my question is, why are we even there? What great interest do we have in Iraq? I mean, we were there originally because we took out Saddam Hussein. I think that was even a questionable thing. The claims made about that. Why do we even go into Iraq in the first place? We just stabilized it, and the Shia took over. And so, it plays into the hand of Iran in the first place. So, yeah, we made a mess over there. We broke the eggs, and we haven't put them back together. And why are we in Syria? Al-Assad, President of Syria, did not invite us. He says that our being there is an invasion. We got no business there. We weren't invited. Supposing we're there to take care of ISIS. We pretty much did that. Russia don't like ISIS. So let Russia take care of ISIS. Why are we even there? Wag the dog. The sitting president, no matter of drowning in scandals, is the commander-in-chief and war is declared. That's true, Sergeant Lee. All right. So, and, at some point he's got to save face because we were being hit so much that everybody was clamoring, why aren't you doing something? What's wrong? What's wrong? And is it enough? A lot of people are questioning that. Fierce battles unfolding as the IDF launches new large offensive in western Khan Yunis. I suppose that's part of a piece of the Gaza Strip. So, guys, what's happened is that a lot of the Israeli generals were saying, we can't both free the hostages and take out Hamas. We can't do them both. It's got to be one or the other. But then Hamas turned around and says, well, we're not giving you any hostages. We're not going to free anymore. So I guess then Israel's come back and says, okay, well, then it's battle on. Game on. So it's a very ugly situation over there. Chin's going to save us all. Yeah, right. Lottie. Well, we're playing into their game. Oh, there was an article I meant to open. I don't think I opened it. I'll tell you the gist of it. It's right in line with what I've been saying all along. So, but get this, just like Putin claiming part of Ukraine, which actually petitioned to be part of Russia, not part of Ukraine, the Donbass area of Luhansk and Donetsk. And part of the reason Russia went in the first place is because Ukrainians were attacking them for wanting to be independent. And like I've always said, any group of people ought to be able to choose how they associate. I believe in the right of self-determination. But now Zelensky has gone further. He's claiming regions that were part of Russia prior to that. He signed a crease saying, hey, these territories in Russia are historically inhabited by Ukrainians. Therefore, they should be Ukraine. Well, good luck with that, Zelensky. Good luck with that one. So I said, I think there's a map here somewhere. Well, maybe not in this article. I've seen maps of what he's trying to claim. Maybe it's one of the other articles. Maybe I got it open. I don't know. I said they got some pretty churches over there that's been rebuilt after the Soviet Union failed. I've seen one of them in Moscow. Some of them, well, quite a few in Moscow. They got built them overnight. There's one in particular that the Russians had destroyed and blew out the basement and made a swimming pool there. And that building's huge that they put up. I walked all through it. And it's a huge building they rebuilt in no time flat. So the churches always wanted to be there. But the communists don't like religion. So Ukraine will get weapons from the UK for at least the next 10 years. And like I said the other night, there's last night or night before last, I forget which channel I said it on, but, the situation is that Ukrainians and Russians were negotiating a peace deal. They were close to having a peace deal to sign. And Boris Johnson went in and said, don't do it. He convinced Zelensky not to sign it, put pressure on him. So now the UK is funding the Ukraine. So, Russia's got a special dislike, let me say it that way, for the UK. They made a lot of special threats directly to the United Kingdom. And, this is probably from whence it comes. Because the United Kingdom seems to have a big axe to grind with Russia, and Russia seems to be all prepared to grind it back. Just a word of warning, my friends that are in the United Kingdom, watch out. Things could get ugly there in a hurry. But so Putin's found the gap in Ukrainian defense systems, and basically what it is that the air defense systems in Ukraine are best for cruise missiles and even hypersonic missiles, but not ballistic missiles. And now Russia's getting more ballistic missiles from not only the ones they had, but they're getting a whole new slew of them from South Korea, and they're breaking all kind of havoc out in Ukraine. And there's suggestions that Russia is actually thinking they'll take Kyiv when they make their next big move next spring. And it just so happens to be coincidental at the time frame for the F-16's arrival, and to be put on the front line is sometime in the spring. Apparently, they've already got the aircraft, they're training on them, but they're not ready to go to the front line until the spring of 2024. So spring could be a very hot time there and in other places too, as in, it's quite a possibility that China will make their move. If they want to invade Taiwan, April is an optimal time for that if they so choose, and then they'll have another window in the fall. So watch out for this spring, March, April, May. Things can get a little too interesting in a hurry. We may be in great peril. You need to have all your stuff prepared by then. You need to be ready for everything to go out. You need to be working on your mag groups. Seriously, go to survivaltribenetwork.com. Wise Al's in the house tonight. She set that up and paid for it out of her own pocket. Y'all need to go work your mutual assurance group, your survival group, your tribe, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, Russia's relentless meat assaults are wearing down an outmanned and undergunned Ukrainian forces. This is coming to us from CNN. Western media is beginning to admit this stuff, even from the West. Now, that's a big change in the narrative. But now they're trying to get NATO to step up. That's why maybe they're finally telling this story over here with the big NATO mobilizations and everything else. So they really want NATO to somehow get involved, apparently. But what I've said all along, sans NATO getting involved, which I didn't think would happen. And hey, Shield Maiden just turned back in. General Sir Patrick Sanders will make an announcement today asking UK ministers to plan for mobilization as British Army is too small. And that's what everybody's been saying. The British Army is too small. Also, the British public to have a war mindset. Well, there you go. That's occurring all across Europe right now. So, yeah, this is all prep for that. Let's hope it don't come. They still can negotiate a peace. The Prime Minister of Slovakia actually called for Ukraine to take up basically the kind of peace deal they were negotiating to start with, which could avert all this warfare. But it seems that nobody wants it, unfortunately. Why does everybody want war? That's crazy. But that seems to be where we're going, like it or not. So, yeah, who's the 10 hordes, Sergeant Lee? So, and who's the 3 little horns? And which one is bragging at the end? I think who does a lot of bragging, boasting? Zelensky comes to mind. I have a hard time seeing him as the anti-X. But anyway, I don't know, guys. So, but this is the way Russia has won wars. It's by throwing people, cannon fodder in, just piling them in. That's the way they beat the Germans, the way they beat Napoleon. And they took a lot of casualties taking on Germany. And that's why Russia is so paranoid. They are extremely paranoid about that. When I was there in Russia, in Moscow, I went to an opera in the Parliament building inside the Kremlin. I believe it's called the Duma. And the opera it had Cossacks dancing and all that stuff in there, and how they squat down with their hind end almost on the floor and they're kicking their legs out. I don't know how their knees handle that. It hurts my knees just to watch them. So, but anyway, that whole thing was celebrating the victory in World War II. I mean, you know, they still celebrate that to a very high degree. It was very well attended, long line getting in that to that opera. So that was an interesting little excursion to see. But what I'm saying is the Russians, if the Russians are willing, if they've got the willpower, they've got more manpower and resources than Ukraine. Yeah, sure, we're pumping arms in there, but Russia's getting support from China and North Korea, Iran. So they're trading expertise and money back for that. So, guys, is a war of attrition in the long run. Time is on the side of Russia. I've said that all along, just because I realized that just from being from here in the South and understanding what it means to fight a war of attrition against a bigger nation that has more resources, if they have the willingness to prosecute the fight. And it looks like Russia is still in that. There's some people protesting, blah, 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 there in Russia, supposedly, but put the powers in Putin's corner. So right now, I'm not seeing enough of anything to change that at this point in time. Doesn't mean it couldn't change. Don't mean that Russia won't lose the will. But right now, they seem to be steadfast in that, and they're pouring them in. And I'd hate to be a Russian soldier. I'd hate to be in Ukraine, because they're all going into the meat grinder. It's a horrible situation. It's the only way to look at it. It is horrible for everybody involved, except the leaders, who to them, everybody's just pawns on the chessboard. Yeah, what do they think of us mere deplorables here in Flower Zone, here in our country? You know, they play us all against each other. I keep saying that. You go to Russia, you'll find people that may be some of your best friends ever, or any other country. You go to China, you can find the same thing. But the leaders play us against each other. But as you know, we was pointing out last night, you know, and both Jason Neighbors and I, you know, we said, hey, they're gangsters all. It's just different warring gangs. That's what it boils down to. Every country is ruled by a lot of gangsters, so it seems these days. Where's the Statesman at? You know, where's the James? What was his name? Big statesman back in the 80s. James. Somebody help me out. Yeah, I'm getting blank. His first name is James. I know his name if I see it. Should occur to me. But anyway, now China is, you know, China's had a huge advantage in stealing lots of technology from the United States and other countries. I mean, you know, look at, you know, Elon Musk opened an EV car factory over there, and now China's got the cheapest EV cars. Duh, Elon. See what you get? You know, they take all technology, and they've got agents around the world just snooping for every little piece of technology they can get. But bear in mind, China actually graduates more engineers per year than we do lawyers. So they can actually develop stuff too. But since they're getting all the other base technology, it gives some of their engineers more latitude to focus on development of new technologies. And they're actually doing that. One of them was that bullet I was talking about last night, that round, which is a hypervelocity round shot out of a coil gun or rail gun, which can do Mach 7. And here we're talking about porous ceramics that can be used in hypersonic aircraft. So they're developing cutting edge technology. Yeah, James Baker. Thank you, Larry. Exactly. And Chris Smith, Larry. Yeah, y'all got James Baker. That's the guy I was trying to think of. Where are our statesmen these days? All we got is Blinken. You know, is Blinken a statesman? He's got nowhere near the stature that James Baker had. Nobody was listening to Blinken because they know his boss is asleep at the switch. President Potato Head is asleep at the switch, and Blinken's blinking. What can you say? Open your blinking eyes, Blinken. So, yeah, there was this big monument in North Korea that was all about unification. They had these two Korean women. One was supposed to be symbolic of South Korea, and one of North Korea, and they were kind of coming together in an arch over a roadway. with this symbology that, it was a goal to reunify the two nations at some point in the future. Well, Kim Jong-un had it destroyed. And he says there'll be no reunification, at least not on those terms. He's talking about invasion instead. So that's what's got a lot of people worried right now. Philippines is getting hot. They are. There's just too many hot spots right now. And we're being spread very thin, especially with all the stuff happening in the Mideast, because we actually have a defense treaty with the Philippines. Or do we have, we're expending we gave a lot of our ammunition to Ukraine. We're expending the naval ammunition against the Houthis. What in the world is playing?
Historically, we didn't think about
it's on that page. I just killed it. Jeez, I hate it when something goes blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so this is what's happening, guys. I had to think over all that time. Nothing was playing. I hate it when stuff does that. I try to eliminate that stuff before we come in here, but stuff always pops up. So, U.S. resources stretched thin. North Korea's pounding the war drum. See there? They know it. They're taking advantage of it. They're laughing. Look at this. The United States is spread so thin, we can now get away with what we want to, especially with the president that got in charge. I'm going to return to that topic in a minute. And here we are. Kim Jong-un decided to go to war, according to some watchers. I'm going to wipe that one out before we get something playing. And just to goad them on, right about the time he set off that underwater nuclear drone, he didn't test the nuke, he tested the drone. But we were conducting a spy flight right on the border. I think we had Japanese planes involved in that mission. I don't see anything about it in this article, as far as I can see, but there was Japanese planes. And the Koreans have a real sensitivity about Japan. Now, South Korea's finally cozened up to Japan because they realize they're an ally with them against North Korea. But North Korea, it makes them really nervous because of the atrocities that Japan committed in the Koreas back in WW2. So let me wipe that page out too. Bang. Whoop. I wiped one I didn't want to wipe out. Well, that was about Venezuela wanting to set up gulags. Yeah, Venezuela wants to set up a police state just like the Soviet Union had. Well, they're probably well on the way already. That's what communist countries do, So all you people who love communism, you better really think twice about it. Psalms 91, great prayer for home and family. There you go. Yeah, BlackRock, they tend on that side of the equation to like capitalism with Chinese characteristics. Yeah, our good friends from the House of Klaus. That's what they love, which is really, it's an ism that starts with the F when you marry government and private enterprises. I'll be real careful what I say here, but yeah, they have a huge military in North Korea. So, now this, I'm not so much bringing this up because of what Ukraine's run to. They're not running out of tanks, but they're running out of tank parts, which talks to the logistics. I brought this up for another talking point. You remember Professor Potato Head once told us, you need an F-15. Well, what good's an F-15 if all its supply lines are cut off? It too runs out of spare parts. Can't maintain it, can't fly it. So all these systems that require large centralized networks to maintain themselves in a how do you say it, certain kinds of conflicts will be somewhat less than absolutely effective. Anyway, let's hope it don't come to that. But spare parts are critical. All right, now on the economic news. China sees the transition to green energy as a chance to elevate the yuan and de-dollarize key markets. You got to realize all this stuff President Potato Head's ordering. They're talking about we'll need like 22 million acres of solar arrays in America to meet his green dream. And they'll all be coming from dragon country. You know what I mean, guys? So yeah, they stand to make a lot of money from that, but they're going after the dollar every way they can over there. That's why another reason you need to consider, I think the dollar is still a little bit strong right now. It's risen recently, but when it comes to the dollar, the fat lady in the opera is at the microphone and she's singing. She ain't sat down yet, but she's singing already. So, pardon the analogy there, folks. But it's concerning. That's why I'm not an economic or a financial advisor. So just take this for whatever you consider important to you and your family. But the good thing about precious metals are they store value. I saw somebody had a picture of 10 bars of gold and said 1920, this has bought you a house. They showed the same 10 bars of gold and says in 2024, this will buy you a house. So let that sink in. So you go to Defy the Grid, you can get gold, silver, platinum. You can buy it in coins, rounds, bullion, or they have for gold. What I like, and the reason I like is because it's easy to handle. You can get these gold backs. They're small. You can put them in your wallet. And that's one. This is the one note. They're denominated not with a dollar, fiat currency. They're denominated by how much gold they are. It is gold. This is gold. It's all gold. And this is the one is 1,000th of a troy ounce. And that's something you can use to buy you a couple of 12 packs of eggs or a couple loaves of bread. Kind of hard to do that with a gold bar without shaving and scales and a lot of other things. So it's just a good form of bartering. So gold goes way back. No kidding. It's always been recognized to have value. Even in the Americas, independent of Europe, the natives were trading in gold. They had gold. They mined it. And that's one of the reasons the Spaniards went after them so hard. Went after that gold, and they used the natives as slave labor to dig it up. Unfortunately, very unfortunate. Took it all back to Spain. Spain got rich off of that for a long time. Anyway, but now Spain is a one broke nation. That's a whole another story how empires collapse. And the American empire is at risk right now. It never should have been an empire. It's not what our founding fathers wanted. But any event, so as we set up our survival tribe networks, this might be a good means to barter between each other amongst ourselves to set up our own economy, our own society. That's what I like to see. So we don't have to be part of whatever they're tossing at us, like central bank digital currencies, which if Trump gets elected, he says he's going to stop that. So let's cross our fingers and hope something stops that from coming in. Anyway, he won the New Hampshire primary, hands down. And that's unusual for somebody to win in Iowa and win in New Hampshire back to back like that. So he's looking pretty strong in that respect. If he can stay off and behind bars, he's got a good chance of being the next president of the United States. And Europe and a lot of other countries are kind of concluded that's what's going to happen. They're trying to get ready for that, whatever it means to them. It's going to be a question about he'll probably change whatever our relationship is with NATO and a lot of other things. So anyhow, Russian businesses swap dollars for yuan in record numbers. It's just more evidence of the dollar being at risk. Let's see here. We almost got through these things. Close that. Whoops. Close this. Oh, that is. Now for air safety. Remember that little window in the door that blew out? Well, some passenger looked at a plane and saw there were bolts missing in the wing. And the flight was canceled. Just luckily, a passenger just happened to look out and see this. Wow, guys, would that wing, this looks like one of the Evelons or something, would that wing have came off in flight? I mean, guys, there's so many crazy things. I used to always say, we got to make sure our kids get a good education and blah, blah, blah. So they will work and be smart enough to keep the planes in the sky and the nuke plants from melting down, well, you got to really wonder where we're at today, because there's just a lot of maintenance issues popping up all over the place you used to not see. Work ethic is gone. And that's one reason that, with this new rule out from the Biden administration coming out the 1 March, you can't have temp workers unless you can prove that, you're not their main source of income. That's going to affect Uber and a lot of other outfits. And if you want to hire people to work on your farm, forget it. That's why I'm really advocating now, just do what you can do for yourself. I'm no longer advocating any model that requires anybody to hire anybody else. Because that model used to be a really good model, but it's bit me hard. And so you just got to watch it, guys. Wish T-Man wouldn't still brag about. Yep, that's one issue I got with him. He's not perfect. He is far from perfect. And I just hope and pray he's not a wolf in a sheep's clothing. So one's got to be careful. Trust no man. Trust no man. That's kind of a principle. That's a Judeo-Christian principle. Trust no one. Trust no man. Is this article not going to come up? There we go. Robotics. Now we got robots that can walk just like people. The ones in Boston, had that backwards shaped knee, and they were very agile, but now they're mimicking people and walking. And now there's an e-robot that can cook and clean and guard your home. I like that last part. Cook and clean and guard a home. I could use one of them. Oh, that looks like a man in a robot suit, if you want to know whatever that picture was. I don't know. Meet Eve. Well, that don't look like a man robot. So it looks like it's riding on one of those Segways. That ain't walking like a man or a woman. But it's just a matter of time. Oh, you know what that looks like? Who else rolled around on wheels? Our good friend Rosie the robot. Y'all remember Rosie? I think we were actually talking about her in the chat room the other night here. Rosie the robot. Well, Rosie is here, my friends. Rosie has arrived. Where's my flying car? Well, they're actually working on that too. Holy guacamole, smoke moly, guys. Yikes. Where are we going? Well, I know one thing is that, wow, look, some new earthquakes here. Where was it? Chile or? Yes, sir. 5.4 in Calama, Chile. This is down around Mexico. Laredo, Mexico, 4.6. A lot of shaking up here in Alaska. Mag rising. We still got earthquakes over here in the Xinjiang province, it looks like, in China. Yeah, this place has been rocking for days. They had a big one back a couple of days back. These are aftershocks. And we got what is that, about a 6.3 in Portavilla, Vanuatu, how you say that? Vanuatu, however that's said. And then we got a bunch around here in the Toga area. Yeah. So when Chile is really shaking, we saw one there yesterday. Coquimbo, or however you say that. Now here's one south of there. Ringo, Chile. Now this looks like it's in Argentina. Yep. 4.4 in Argentina. Turkey's got one. So, yeah, we got a lot of earthquakes going on. And the sun is kicking up, guys. The sun is crackling with solar flares. Almost all of them coming from that sunspot I was showing you guys last night, the AR-3561. It's had more than a dozen M-class solar flares in the last day and a half. As long as they stay in the M-class, I'm happy. If they start climbing up the X scale, we're in trouble. And neural net, your CPU is a neural net processor. Wow. And that is a big sunspot up there, 35, 39. And you see the separation here between that. You see you got a positive and a negative side. That allows big loops of magnetic fields to form and catch plasma and mass up in there. And when those magnetic field lines break, it throws them out as a coronal mass ejection. So that one's cocked and loaded and pointed straight at us almost. So let's hope that she don't go major X flare on us. They're not forecasting that, but who knows? Who knows what we're going to get next time around? Guys, we're heading towards solar maximum with the sun. The sun is active. Anybody says that we're in some big minimum, there's no evidence of that at the moment. We still got that, the closest asteroid coming at us is this one right here still on the 27.9. You know, we always discover new ones. But there's nothing we know it's coming any closer at this moment in time. I believe this one was discovered after the fact at 0.8. That's the distance between LD is the distance between the Earth and the Moon. That's the lunar distance. That's 0.8 of the lunar distance, 0.9 of the lunar distance, which is still going to miss us by a wide berth. So there's nothing to lose sleep over that we know of here. That's the good news. You see the solar cosmic rays have really went down because the sun is gone up. They're inversely proportional, and the albedo of Earth is also affected by that. So we should have a hot winter. Why is our winter not hot? I don't know, guys. So you tell me. We're having the coldest winter I've seen here in a long time. Right here. And talking about winter and weather, we'll go to windy. Now, I finally today just started, most of our snow melted here today. Solar flares are good if they're not too powerful. They don't fry your grid. I mean, they make pretty auroras. If we had our grid properly hardened, we should be able to stand outside in the worst of them and just stand up and go ooh and ah. But we may be going, oh, instead. Neon made you do it. Oh, particles. All right, so let's say there's a big river of water coming into the west coast. Looks like it's right here. A storm is going to spin it up, throw it into the west coast, and let's say there's going to be a whole lot of rain coming in. Snow up in here, British Columbia, Yukon Territory, Alaska Panhandle. Got a little bit over in New Mexico, Apache County. It looks like maybe a little bit in Navajo County. Snow up in the northeast, probably heading toward New Days. A lot of snow offshore here. How come they don't show it on Greenland? Interesting. Summertime. Why is it? No, it's wintertime. Why is it snowing that much up here? Almost it's summertime down south. It warmed up today. Maybe that's why I said that. Anyway, we'll scroll in here and look at what are people dealing with. We'll start in Maine and kind of work our way around. Oh, -6 in Houghton. New Days. You must be kind of chilly up there. -10 in Caribou, Edmundston. Yeah, it's a bit chilly. Lebanon, New Hampshire, 25. Manchester, 28. Boston, 32. New York, 34. Ohio in the 30s everywhere pretty much. Pennsylvania in the 30s. Indianapolis in the 30s. Illinois in the 30s. Michigan, mostly 30s, except some 20s up here. Peninsula's in the 20s. Wisconsin, 28, 30. Minnesota. Brian Perendi, how you doing, buddy? Now, he'll watch us tomorrow. 30s, pretty much throughout the state. North Dakota's in the 20s. South Dakota's mixed in the 20s and the 30s. Nebraska's 30s. Kansas is in the 30s. Arkansas is in the 40s. A little bit of 50 in Little Rock, 52 in Little Rock, 59 down in Greenville, 37 up here in Fayetteville. So it's colder behind this front. Now here we got another cold front, major cold front, probably going to go through 1st February. We're going to have a lot of, there's ice, I'm told. That looks like ice in Kansas. I'm told there's going to be ice storms all through the Midwest. And heavy rain down in Brandy territory. Hey, Brandy, all this rain is coming at you. Look out, you're about to get flooded all down in here. Hattiesburg, 62. Montgomery's 59. Mobile, 62. Birmingham, Double Nickel. Gaddstown, 40. Hunts Patch, 50. Yeah, it warmed up today. Ardmore, 50. Yeah, most of the snow is melted now, except in the woods back here. There's still a little bit more anywhere under a shade tree. Still got some snow. But holy guac, smoke a moly. Yeah, the snow is melting. It's supposed to rain tonight, so I expect tomorrow, all day tomorrow. So I'm expecting that snow to be gone. Santa Fe, 32. Albuquerque, 39. Phoenix, 46. Sholo, 34. Is Jesse in the house? Jesse Mills in the house. Let's see. Snowflake, 34. Not too bad. Not too bad at all for there in the wintertime. Planet Houston. It's been getting a lot of rain around there. 62 over here. Corpus Christi, 66. Eagle Pass is around here, guys. So it's in the 50s. That's the area of consternation right now. Dallas, Mineral Wells, both 44. Tucson, 46. Los Angeles is 50 and Lost Wages is 34. Eureka, 48. Astoria, 46. West Wokistan, Eugene, 34. Oh, Seattle's 41, Olympia, 39. Was Alaska. The popular beer up in the Northwest was Ole. We called it Ole. It was Olympia beer. I've had my share of that back in my younger days as a troop stationed in Alaska. Check Alberta out for Arnold. High level is -1, -8 over here. Slave Lake, though, 17. Hinton, 19. Red Deer, 14. Calgary is 25. Kind of balmy there for up there. 35 down there. You got anybody from British Columbia in the house? Kelowna, which is Curtis Stone's territory, is 30. That's where he's at. That's a beautiful lake there. It's actually kind of mild around that lake for some reason. Good place to grow stuff. Valdez, 14. Homer, 17. Anchorage is 5. Delta Junction, -24. Fairbanks, -33. Now it's getting about like what I'd expect to see up there. -24. -33. I've seen colder than that. That's January. It should be cold up there. It should be even colder. I've seen lots colder than that. Barrow, -13. Wainwright, -13. Now there's a Fort Wainwright near Fairbanks. The interior gets colder than the coastal areas. It gets colder in the winter. It gets a little warmer in the summer. I've seen it get up to 81, 2, 3 degrees one summer. I was up there for about 3 days. That was a major heat wave. In Siberia, what do we got in Siberia? Should be some cold places in Siberia. -29. All right, we're -38 here. About as close as we're going to see today. -38 Siberia. Moscow, Putin sitting at a balmy 30 degrees. Zelensky's 35. Lukashenko in Minsk, Belarus is 34. A lot of snow here on the border, right at the Zwoki Pass here. Snowing at the Zwoki Pass. So it's cold there at the moment, but it may get hot if that's where the war goes. Berlin is 30. Shield Maiden, London is 48. Hull is 48. All this area is 48 right in here. Glasgow's 44, and up in Scotland, 44. Dublin, 44. Dingle, 48. So we got 40s around here, everywhere. Spain, Madrid is 44. On the coast, Lisbon is 53. My youngest daughter was over there a few months ago. She went to Lisbon, Morocco, and over to Egypt. She saw the pyramids, went inside the pyramids. All right, let's sit down. Boondocks. Thank you, Greg. Buy some Aqua Velva. Get yourself an Arizona gal. Is Aqua Velva going to get me an Arizona gal? Oh, boy. Aqua Velva. Salute the Boondock. Thank you, Boondock. All righty. Let's come there. Indonesia is in the 70s and 80s. A lot of rain around there, as you expect. Well, they get a lot of rain in the desert. Alice Springs is finally getting a little rain. I'm sure the folks in the desert in Arizona are real thankful for all that rain. All right, 113 here. Birdsville, 113. Alice Springs, 95. Sydney, 77. Capital City, 75 in Canberra. Melbourne, 68. Imagine that for a summertime temperature, guys. Thank you, Boondock. Hobart, 66. Yeah, 66 throughout Tasmania. How the Tasmania Devils doing. Christchurch, 57. New Plymouth, 57. Auckland, 64. And Dunedin is 52. Nice, cool summers down there in New Zealand. All righty, guys. We went around the world. Since most of our watchers are here in United. Look at that equatorial stream of water there. That's pretty typical. Once that's been driven by El Nino. Got a little storm there off the coast of Australia. So let's kind of clock this thing for. I just hit the 4 o'clock accidentally. I wasn't doing that when I was scrolling through the temps. Sometimes I do that accidentally. Let's just kind of let this play forward. We'll be done with the weather. I could imagine living in cold weather like that. Well, you've been down South Alabama so long. It is balmy down there. Whenever I go to South Alabama, I'd feel hot. The humidity and the heat would suffocate me. Even coming from North Alabama, going down here, whoop, hot. Houston, hot. All this is just hot and humid all down through here. It's like a belt. Whew. Even coming from up here, going down there, you can feel it big time. So let's rock through the weather. Let's see what's coming at us, guys. Those storms are coming east, they're heading your way, Brandy, and come through Memphis and heading my way. Look at that. So that is Wednesday. Just south of you, Brandy. You might miss the worst part. Except that storm there. Where's that going? Whoop, more rain Thursday. Looks like storms in my area and going into Georgia. About 2 rounds coming through on Thursday. Look up here in Illinois. Wow, that could be tornadoes. Who knows what that might be? That's pretty intense. Pretty intense. We got more coming through Friday. Gadsden area. Gadsden. Oklahoma City. Yeah, we didn't go in and check the temperature in Oklahoma. We got wind in the house. It might have Mary there from Tulsa Fox. We might have Jason Neighbors in the house. DC guys gets hammered on Sunday. So watch these temperatures because we got toward the 1st of February. That's where it's going to get cold. Oops. Let's see here. There's the rain's coming in, hitting the Seattle area. Snow in the Smokies Tuesday. All right, we're not on the 1st yet. Watch these temperatures. Let's see if we got a cold system coming in. Maybe a little bit later in February than this goes out to. This goes out the 2nd of February. I hate it when there we go. Now California's getting rain Wednesday next week. Now we're in the 1st. I don't know if these temperatures are updating or not. Yeah, they're changing. I don't see the real cold weather yet. No, there's all that snow out west in the Rockies. Snowflakes gonna get snow. New Mexico. Of course, Utah is getting pummeled by snow. Denver, western Colorado, up to the 2nd of February. A lot of snow coming out there. Probably that cold front follows this system. That's probably what's going on. This system probably rock across the country. There's projections it's going to get real cold again. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't know, guys. Come back. Reset. Better than New Orleans, though. You have to dry off twice and powder yourself right out of the shower. Nolans, yeah, NOLA, as they call it locally. All righty, folks, let's stop the share. Hello. Menial scientist, sticky humid. Oh, yeah. Don't powder, huh? Sin jamming. All my livestock were born a month early. I'm tired of bottles. Oh, Zen jamming. That'll keep you busy. Boondock says, love it. All right, let me scroll up. See what I'm missing in the chat room. Let me just take my little laptop off my laptop stand, which is a Park hybrid rocket motor sitting there. Well, everybody use a rocket motor as a table stand. Let's see. Boondock be better if we all just got along. Yeah. Yeah, we got along with even North Korea under Trump. He had to put some pressure on them first, tell them his big red button was bigger than theirs. He got their attention with that instead of, don't want to offend nobody. Let's not say anything. While they're shooting at you. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Zelensky is, yeah. Says Billy. Most of them are actually. A lot of them are. They watched you every second. Yeah, they watch us all. I'm sure they're watching me. Calgary, Arizona says, look at what they're doing in Colorado. Get water because I can't set, but oh, what happened? Oh, shoot. I'm in the wrong spot. Oh, that wasn't a bad place to be, though. Put me off where I scroll to. Calgary, Arizona. You just got smurfed. You're smurfed, cowgirl. He's on one there laughing manically. Oh, yeah. A bat witch wiggler. Yeah, some of them did laugh very manically when they took out other folks, which is scary. I remember HRC having a particularly maniacal laugh. Their boss at the time said he was really good at some of that, which is minus 22 in Antarctica. See, it's summertime in Antarctica, but yeah, minus 22 probably. Cabin fever. Yeah, you get that in Alaska. That's real common where you get lots of cold weather and where it stays dark most of the year. I mean, most of the summer, wintertime. Where's my shiny hat? Hang on. Shiny hat. One shiny hat coming up. I'm using my remote control to get it. Stage. Oh, it's stuck on something. Oh, notepad. Might be dusty. All right, we got one shiny hat in play. There we go, guys. My official tinfoil cap, by the way. You don't do a tinfoil cap, do it right. I think Trump is in severe danger running around out. Well, yeah, he's out in the open a lot. Those big gatherings, that worries me. Thanks again, Greg, says Cowgirl. Well, hey, thank you. You've done so much for me. I appreciate it, Cowgirl. You've been awesome helping me out in Arizona. Holy walking smoke-a-moly. You and your man too. How's the boy doing? Just try probing my mind now. Well, the only way to make a really good fairy cage, you have to put your whole head in it. Yeah, this comes from Rex. Rex Bear gave me this. Sure enough. So you can get these on leakproject.com, I believe. Boondock. Thank you, Boondock, for the shiny. So I got $2 for putting his hat on. That made it worthwhile. Definitely. Data processing. Great grandparents. I say, Randall Hill, I saw a news report and immigrants said, soon you will know who I am. Yeah, I saw that one. There's just so much, guys, so much to report. Sure enough, this guy was videoing these guys come across the border, and he asked this guy something. He says, soon you will know who I am. Sounded like a threat. Now we just let anything through. Those that don't love us so much will see that. Tell me that they wouldn't try to send people across to do their bidding over here inside our country. Just tell me they wouldn't. That's what, I read an article to you guys several months back on Green Graves, where they, somebody, oh, no, there's no Hezbollah in South America. What? I can show plenty of articles. I went later and showed you tons of articles talking about Hezbollah in South America. That's what they're going to do. Deny it all. But I got to be careful because number one threat of our age. Oh, I don't have that open. There was that doomsday clock. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't put that article out of the doomsday clock, but they just come out with the doomsday clock and announced it today, or it's yesterday now. And it's already 3:15. Wow. What's one? They come out. Yeah, all right, I'm going to tell you a joke in a minute. So they come out and said, the scientist in charge of the doomsday clock said the number one threat in the world right now is dragon country. No, can't be. Can't be. That's not what Uncle Klaus said. They got to be wrong, because Uncle Klaus said the number one threat in the world was disinformation and misinformation. Oh, yeah. So those atomic scientists must be way off base. They didn't clear that. They might have that clock hidden. It might be classified now as disinformation. Just a bunch of scientists. What can they know? Well, there's a lot of politics goes into that too, guys. Anyway, maybe he's on American Idol. Oh, who that? Who's on American Idol? Her funeral. Oh, cowgirl. What am I missing here? They don't need tanks to invade this country. Asymmetric warfare, guys. I'm missing here. Brits trying to oust Sunak and get Cameron in. Cameron ain't any good. Boondock. The girls in Arizona say Greg's a silver fox. All right. Man, I just woke up. 90 seconds a minute. Yeah, they didn't move the clock. That's very close to midnight already. 90 seconds is pretty darn close. I'm surprised they didn't inch it forward at least a couple seconds. We're in very dangerous times, guys. I think they're worse. Let's see. Randall Hill says maybe he's going. Who that? Who's going on American Idol? Great, Mufdini. All right, so Schwab is Larry. Iron Maiden, 2 minutes to midnight. Great song. Keep people in fear so they can't make rational decisions. That and our education. So there you go, Brandy. Everyone who sees through Schlauber. Yeah, there you go, Boondock. So, I think I've covered most of what I was going to cover tonight. We're 80 minutes into the podcast here. So, I've got some articles. I plan to actually have a separate broadcast on green graves and do a separate show. I was going to upload on my Galactic Gregs, and I just didn't get time to do it all. I got stuff material to cover on both those channels, so maybe sometime tomorrow. And I might go live on Green Gregs tomorrow night, but I'm gonna be doing more and more of that right here. He flew Alaska Airlines. They had several prices on flights. I told him if you bring some duct tape. You might need some duct tape if you're going to fly on an airline right now. Yeah, we used to, when we was building our rockets, we called it missile tape or rocket tape. Some guys in aviation, little aircraft, they call it aviation tape. Larry Schultz says the guy at the border who said soon you'll know me. Said maybe he's going on. Oh, he's the one going to American Idol. Okay, yeah, that's it. He's going to American Idol. That's got to be it. Let's hope that's it. Who knows? We just let anything and anybody in. Alan Mayer says, Anyway, folks. Well, it's 3:19. Let's end early. Maybe I can actually work on one of those other casts a little bit here. Put some rocket tape on there. There you go. Bat Witch. Dixie Doodles. Looking forward to the day that we share better news. Amen. Duct tape fixes everything it does, Brandy. You can do anything with duct tape. You can build boats and bridges and ladders. I mean, all you have to do is watch those old versions of Mythbusters. Windex and duct tape. Don't forget the 550 cord. There you go. So, yeah, you need a little bit of that cord. Parachute cord. So it's a good survival tool. Parachute cord and duct tape. Make sure you have a little duct tape with you. Carrying a whole roll that might get heavy. You got to really make sure if you're bugging out. And people got these big, heavy bug out bags. That's okay if you're going to throw it in the back of the car and drive around with it. But if you're going on a hike with it, your backpack probably ought not be more than 10% of your weight, whatever that is. So you have to think real careful what you put in there. Don't sit next to the door of a plane unless you have a good life insurance policy. There's that. Texas needs more concertina wire. There you go. Oh, they're putting it in. They're putting it in. All right, folks. Yeah, we don't know what's coming, guys. It's interesting the Civil War movie is coming out about this time, is it not? So, but like I said, even if Texas went Texas, that don't mean you got to have a war. I mean, just look at Europe. The countries break up with no war. Let's hope we don't get one. Let's just hope and pray it don't go to. There's one other thing I was going to bring up. What was it? Oh, yeah, there was this article that insinuated this, and it's been pretty much my line of thinking all along. I didn't open it for showing here, but hey, Jojo, how you doing? So there is article come out that says, well, now if the Putin and the Ayatollah Khomeini and if Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un all got together and tried to figure out a way to take down America, how would they go about it? And it's pretty much staged what's happening right now. Well, you'd maybe first invade Ukraine and get America to spend a bunch of the weapons there. And that would make China and North Korea real happy. And And then you get attacks on the Israelis would be spending more stuff and depleting our resources, and that make them even happier. And then later, China would be more free and North Korea would be more free to take what they want, spread it around. I don't know, guys. I just said that in a nutshell. It was a lot more tit for tat, but kind of the general theme I've been talking on here, this channel and Green Greg's. Delirium is kicking in for you, 222. Well, it's 3:23 here now. So it's time to call it a night. JoJo's your favorite bird whisperer. All right. Hang on. Oh, what's it doing? Doing what to? All right, JoJo. You've been smurfed. Ah. All righty. So we have the best Arctic response team. We also have the best combined arms reactive team. Well, there used to be a lot of them trained up Northern Warfare Training Center, but there's been a recent article come out that we don't have enough troops trained for the Arctic. So maybe they'll get on that. So they land on her finger. Oh, they land on her finger. Birds. Interesting. I've had a dragonfly land on my finger. I think I've had a bird. Wild birds? That's interesting. That's really Smurfy, says Randall Hill. All righty, folks. Hey, we're going to call it a night. It's we're almost 90 minutes and it's an hour and a half. I think that's long enough. So, guys, super chatters, thank you very much. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone, for watching and one and all.